Hi class, my name is Syed Ali and I'm doing a project for my speech class. My topic was history of tobacco and how it got into America. Tobacco is a name used for plants of the genus Nicotina of the Solanaceae family. It is the same family as the spreado pepper and the poisonous nightshade, a very deadly plant. The seed of a tobacco plant is very small. A 1 ounce sample contains about 300,000 seeds. The name is also used for the product manufactured from tobacco leaves and used in cigars, cigarettes, and snuff and pipe. Different species of the tobacco plant with different characteristics associated with smoking, example fast burning, slow burning, mild, strong, have become popular in different parts of the world. The primary active ingredient of tobacco is the alkaloid nicotine, which is responsible for its narcotic and soothing qualities. There, there is little reliable information concerning on the early uses of tobacco by Native Americans prior to the arrival of Europeans in 1942. As early as 1525, the smoking of tobacco was described as something that could clarify the mind and give happy thoughts. In other words, tobacco was, from the start, perceived as having calming effect on the senses, thereby allowing ample room for review, if not always the downright abandon and physical collapse suggestive of the outer body experience seen in American Indian ritual. Tobacco was grown by American Indians before the Europeans came from England, Spain, France, and Italy to North America. Native Americans smoked tobacco through a pipe for special religious and medical purposes. They did not smoke every day. Tobacco was first crop grown for money in North America. In 1612, the settlers of the first American colony in Jamestown, Virginia, grew tobacco as a cash crop. It was the main source of money. Other cash crops were corn, cotton, and etc. Tobacco helped pay the American Revolution against England. Also, the first president of the United States grew tobacco. By the 1800s, many people had begun using small amounts of tobacco. Some chewed it, others smoked it occasionally in a pipe, or they had hand rolled a cigarette or cigar. On the average, people smoked about 40 cigarettes a year. The first commercial cigarettes were made in 1865 by Washington Duke on his 300-acre farm in Raleigh, North Carolina. His hand-rolled cigarettes were sold to soldiers at the end of the Civil War. The first brand of cigarettes were packaged in a box with baseball cards and were called the Duke of Durham. Buck Duke and his father started the first tobacco company in the US. They named it the American Tobacco Company. In 1902, Philip Morris Company came out with its Marlboro brand. They were calling their cigarettes mainly to men. Everything changed during World War I. In World War II, soldiers overseas were given free cigarettes every day. At home production increased and cigarettes were being marketed to women too. More than any other war, World War II brought more independence for women. In 1944, cigarettes production was up to 300 billion a year. Servicemen received about 75% of all cigarettes produced. The war were good for the tobacco industry. Since World War II, there have been 6 giant cigarette companies in the US. They are Philip Morris, R.J. Reynolds, American Brands, Laureate, Brown and Williamson, and Liggett and Myers. They make millions of dollars selling cigarettes in the US and all over the world. In 1965, the Congress of the US passed the Cigarette Labeling and Advertising Act. It said that every cigarette pack must have a warning label on its side stating cigarettes may be hazardous to your health. The early 1980s were called the Tar Wars because tobacco companies competed aggressively to make over 100 low tar and ultra low tar cigarettes. Well, now concluding it on a point that throughout the history, tobacco companies have had a trade surplus. That is one big reason why they have been important to the economy of the US. In 1902, the tobacco industry reported a $5.65 billion trade surplus. In the first half of 92, tobacco exports were 2 billion more than imports. The tax the taxes that the tobacco companies pay provide a lot of money for the US government. In 92, Philip Morris alone paid 4.5 billion in taxes. They make it the largest taxpayer in the US.